Money. It affects our everyday life. But how do we make more of it? Manage it. And make sure we make the most of our money. Welcome to Money Mindful, a podcast to teach and support you as you learn to manage your money.
Hello and welcome to the Money Mindful podcast. I am your host, Meaghan J Smith. I'm a money mindset and life coach for women. I help women create a better relationship with money and essentially a better relationship with themselves. So today I want to share with you a super effective and powerful process that I have applied in my life to create things that I want to create. And it's a process that I also work with my clients, that I teach them and help them use. So I want to give you an overview of that today and give you some practical information about it, how you can apply it, how you can use it in your own life. So the title of this podcast is called Be Her Now, Unapologetically. And that is what I want to help you with today, explaining what that actually means and how you do it. So in my one-to-one coaching practice, the clients who work with me, for the most part, they come to me because they want to create something new in their life that they haven't been able to do on their own, right? Like whether it's an income goal in their business or it's changing careers or up-leveling in their life in a particular area, usually business or career. And often the goal is something like, I want to earn X amount in my business, or I want to create this. Now I'm trying to talk about my clients without talking about them. I'm doing really general terms, but it's like I want to be able to create this certain aspect in my business, or I want to be able to get to X amount of kilos in my body weight, right? Like it's a goal that they want to create. They haven't been able to create it and they want to work out a way to do it that works for them. And often I say to my clients, well, why? Why do you want to create that goal? And what do you think you're going to think and feel when you've created that goal? What kind of person, like who are you? Who do you think you'll be when you've reached that goal? Right? And it's really interesting listening to what people say because it's, like an income goal, for example, it's like, well, I would be somebody who doesn't have anything on the price. Like I would just tell people my price and I wouldn't be embarrassed or uncomfortable about my price. Or I would be somebody who gets regularly booked, or I'm somebody who feels comfortable talking on social media or being in the newspaper, advertising my business, right? Like when you start to tease it out, there's a particular, like you want to reach a particular goal, whatever that is. Okay, I'm going to refer to business because most of my clients, it's to do with generating income. So let's say you've got a goal that you want to make 120K in your business, right? I'm just going to use this as an example. So who are you? Who is that person who makes 120K in their business? Like, who do you think you'll be when you make that money? And then sometimes my clients will say things like, well, I'll just be more relaxed, or I'll feel more organized in my business. I'll have systems set up. I'll have more time with my family because I've got money to pay for things like a cleaner, or, these are just some made up examples that I'm giving you, right, for this person that I'm making up who's who has a goal for 120K, right, in their business. So that's the goal. That's who they think they'll be. But then now what? How do you actually create that? How do you make that happen? And this is what I want to help you with today. Because did you know you can just decide how you want to show up? Like, you can actually just be her now, like unapologetically, right? So what I get my clients to do when they have a goal, so I get them to write out the goal, whatever that is. So let's say it's by December 21st, I make 120K revenue in my business. Let's say that's the goal, right? And then I get them to ask themselves, okay, so how does 120K you show up, right? And here's a couple of prompts. Here are the kind of things that you can ask yourself. So how does 120K you think about money, right? How does she dress? How does she manage her business? How does she manage her time? And I get the client to paint a really vivid picture of who you are at that dream goal. And here's why. We so often think that we're going to be, when we reach our goal, then we'll feel better, or then we'll be organized, or then we'll wear bright colored clothes, or then we'll have a system set up in our business that we don't currently have. And what I want to offer to you, like, this is the secret sauce, key to the universe, is we don't reach our goal and then suddenly become a different person. It's the other way around. We start becoming that person and then we reach the goal. I'm going to say that again, because this is what so many of us do. We have a goal in mind and we want to reach that goal because we think over there is better than here, and we think that magical rainbows and daisies are going to pop up everywhere when we reach this goal, right? It's like when I get to 120K in my business, then I'm going to have a house cleaner, and then I'm going to have a booking system and software set up, right? Like, we have these ideas of what we think we're going to be like when we get to that goal, but then we just keep trying to reach that goal doing the same things that we're doing now. And what I want to offer to you is that you reach that goal by becoming her now, unapologetically. So whoever you think that you will be at your goal, let's keep running with that example of, who this person thinks they're going to be at the 120K goal. Show up as that person now. And then that creates the goal, because you're doing what that person would do right now. Okay? So the really powerful thing about painting a picture of who you think you'll be when you reach your goal is that you can use that picture you've painted for yourself as an anchor to inform everything that you do now in the current moment. I'm going to give you some examples of that so you get what I mean. So let's keep using this example, this hypothetical goal of, I make 120K. This person who makes 120K, does she wear clothes with holes in them, for instance? Now, if she doesn't, then you want to be the person now who doesn't wear clothes with holes in them, right? If 120K person at the goal, if she has really excellent boundaries around her work-life balance, you want to develop that now, right? Whatever that looks like for you. If 120K you does yoga every day before the kids get up, or if she takes her children horse riding on the weekend for fun, start doing that stuff now. Do not dismiss the simplicity of this exercise. This is powerful stuff. Like, this is literally how I have created the business that I have now, because I have done this process. This is the process that I have done. I have looked, when I'm setting goals, I look forward. Like, who is that person who's reached this goal? What's different about her? Right? Because we can't keep doing the same thing and expect to get a different result. Now, this doesn't mean that who you are now, that there's anything wrong with that person, or that you have to change because you're not good enough or anything like that. No, that does not mean that. It just means that as you expand into this new version of yourself at your goal, whatever that is, whether it's a revenue goal or something in your business or something that you want to create in your life, you want to be able to, have a summer house and a winter house, whatever it is that you're creating, who are you when you reach that goal? Really connect with that person. How do they talk to themselves? What do they think? What do they think about success? What do they think about who they are? How do they dress? What does their day look like? What do they do differently to what you do now? What do they do that's the same? What have they let go of? Right? How do they think differently? Because when you have this picture in your mind, that's what you can anchor to whenever you're making a decision in your day-to-day life. You can ask yourself, well, would 120K me do this? No, she wouldn't. So I'm not going to do that. Or would 120K person do this? Yes, she would. Okay, so I'm going to start doing that now. And then that is the magic of creating your goals. You start becoming that person now. And that is what creates the goal. Because you become the person who doesn't wear holes in her clothes. Right? I'm just using this as a random example. You become the person who has a particular type of software that they use in their business. You become the person who feels comfortable with their numbers, or you become the person who hires a bookkeeper, right? Whatever it is, you get to decide, but you don't have to wait until you reach your goal to be that person. And in fact, I would argue that it's much harder to reach your goal if you're not becoming that person, because it's by becoming that person that you create your goal, because you become her. That person you think you're going to be in the future, you become her now. And I love using that word unapologetically, right? Whatever it is that you want to create, be her now, unapologetically. Show up as her now. If you think when you get to a certain goal in your business, for example, that you're going to be the kind of person who takes your kids out on the weekend for adventures or weekend getaways, start working out how to do that now. If you think you are going to have an online course set up as part of your business, start researching that now. If you think that you are going to have a virtual assistant or need somebody to help you in your business, start looking into that now. Right? Become her now, unapologetically. All right, so I'm just going to summarize what I said. So the steps are, when you are wanting to create something new in your life to reach a goal, you can just decide how you want to show up. Okay, that's the first thing. And then it's write your goal down. What is it that you want to achieve? And then ask yourself, who am I at that goal? How do I show up for myself? How do I talk about myself? How do I conduct myself in regards to that goal? So in your business, how do you show up? In your day-to-day life with your family, is there anything different? What are your boundaries like around work? Do you dress differently? All the things. Like, if the more detailed you can get, the better, because like it gives you something to work towards. How does she feel on a day-to-day basis? All right, start feeling those emotions now. And then look at what you've written down when you've painted your picture and ask yourself, like, what's different about me? What's the same? Because this is your guide about what you need to change and the things that you need to do, right? And then the final step is just start being her now. Embody her now. Now, maybe there's things that there's a 2, 3, 4 step process in becoming her, but take the first step. Embody her now. You can start doing that today. Nothing is stopping you. Okay, be her now. More money, more confidence, more you. Okay, you've got this. So fun being the person that you want to be, but being her now. All right, if you want some help with this, if you want to be that person now and you want support with that, this is what I do with my one-on-one clients. You can listen back to a couple of episodes ago. I had one of my clients, Michelle Kevill, on, and she's a beautiful example of what is possible and what you can create. And if you want the same kind of results that she has, like being able to just powerfully show up in your life and create what you want, that is what I help women do. The way to work with me is go to my website, moneymindful.com.au, and you can book a consultation with me. The consultation is free, and that alone is so powerful because I take you through exactly where you are now, what's getting in the way, where it is that you want to be, and I map that out for you, okay? All right, until I get in your ears again next week, have an amazing week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Money Mindful podcast. For more info, visit moneymindful.com.au. For future episodes, be sure to subscribe. And remember, the information in this podcast is of a general nature only and does not take into account your personal circumstances or goals. Please seek professional advice for your own financial needs. Remember to have fun along the way.